In my opinion, the markets want to go up. I keep saying the same thing. Buy the dip in August, they went higher. Buy the dip in September, markets went higher. Now, we have yet to really dip in October. October has actually been a pretty good month so far. A little bit of moving sideways. We confirmed a breakout on the S&P 500. And even after yesterday's bearish engulfing candle, we're getting an inside candle day today. And so we might get a dip here in October. But I don't know why we wouldn't buy it, because we've got a Fed that's fully getting behind this economy and promising more easing. Kicked us off with a really nice fat 50 basis point cut. And we're waiting on some data tomorrow, which is going to be the big mover of the market. It's going to kind of tell us whether or not we're going to continue to climb up or whether we're going to have a little bit of a pullback in October. Now, I've talked about it in my last couple of videos, but I want to keep it super, super clear. If we've seen in the last two presidential elections, we've seen at least a week or 2 weeks before the week of the election, there's been a little bit of profit taking, a little bit of a pullback. And in light of how strong the market has been, I would expect we could get a little bit of a pullback before potentially a really strong month of November. Now, the SPY hitting on all-time highs, right? We've got Apple today knocking on the door of all-time highs. I'm going to talk about Apple stock here in a little bit. And we've got Bitcoin slowly making its way back up to the top. And so everything seems to potentially be positioning itself to a breakout, blow off top. Now, let me take a step back. Economists are surprised at how high the market is right now, and so am I. When we got to July of this year and 2024 had been as strong as it had been, I was expecting things to cool off for the second half of the year. I was expecting things to mostly go sideways, but the truth is the market's climbed and climbed and climbed, and everybody, including myself, has begun to have to revise their upward expectations of where this market is going to hit. Now, we have had a breakout on the SPY, and I've given you what I would consider the move that could peak the markets for this year, which would be a possible move up to 600 or 620 on the SPY. And at that point, I would begin to think, okay, that's the blow off top. Truth is, for as long as the markets are moving higher, we have to trade the trend. I'm going to recap it because I need it, you need it, the disciplines. Trade the trend. Don't try to second guess what direction it's going. Just follow the markets. Never, never, never try to get ahead of the market, because you're just going to get absolutely run down. So the trend today, my friends, is still higher. Now, we might get a micro pullback tomorrow. Retail sales, initial jobless claims data is going to come out. It's going to be the most volatile day of this week. And if we begin to sell off, then we're going to give the markets a little bit of room to sell off, right? We're going to give them a little bit of room to come down. But going into the end of this month, I'm going to be looking to use it as an opportunity to load back up, because I believe that November could be very, very strong. Very strong month could potentially be ahead of us. But I'm not going to get ahead of it. I'm going to give the default trade to the bulls. Absolutely to the bulls. Let me take you guys really quick into the Apple chart. But before I do, this is the Stocks with Josh show. I'm not in my usual studio. Appreciate you joining me today. Drop a heart, say hi in the comment, hit the like for me. And if you need help trading these markets, and I hope you're making money, but if for some reason you're not, then stop trading alone and come trade with the Stocks with Josh community, not just here on YouTube, but I've got a Discord called the Chart Goat University. It's where the Stocks with Josh fam hangs out. It's myself and a ton of great traders. I call them crowned traders. If you're not getting a trade from me, you're getting a trade from one of the crowned traders every single day. Now, it's where you can learn to chart, and it's where you can trade in a community. Now, this morning, we traded the VIP lounge traded. We go live. I go live Wednesdays and Fridays. We made a nice little bag. Everybody was saying I made 250, 300. Some were saying they made 500. We traded very carefully, even though the market rolled over in the morning and the SPY looked as if it could be continuing its downside move. We used our trade setups and we saw that it wasn't breaking down and it wasn't time to load puts, but instead we loaded calls, okay? And we wrote it up to a nice profit. We actually were able to ride some NVIDIA calls up as well. Now, I talked about the fact that as the market heated up, that we would likely back test structure, and that's where we would scale. After the live, I sent out a technical to the community and I said, guys, everything's going according to plan. The market is pointing up. I'm in calls in a scaled position. Hopefully you guys were able to make some money. Let me know in the comment section if you made some money. Okay, guys, hit the like and subscribe and stop trading alone. Come join the community. Let's go look at the Apple chart because the Apple chart is breaking all-time highs. There's two stocks I want to briefly talk about today. One is Apple, one is TSM. TSM got some good news. Their earnings are tomorrow. I like TSM, but I'm keeping my position size small. I'm going to, might even cut some right before close today. But at the moment, I'm giving TSM the benefit of the doubt that they're going to have a good earnings. It's a little bit of a lotto trade for me. I'm going to take a bigger position after the earnings. I'm going to show you in the chart where we would go short if we fall beneath, where we could squeeze to if they've got good earnings. I'm going to show you that today. But let's start off with the Apple chart. Apple is getting ready to come out with their Apple Intelligence. Now, I want to just put this warning out there regarding Apple because I'm seeing a ton of videos where people are saying that they do not like Apple's new phone, that they're returning it and going back to an older model. So there's a ton of dissatisfaction right now with Apple products. They just haven't brought anything revolutionary. And so they desperately need this Apple Intelligence, AI, artificial intelligence, to save the day and to show the market that they deserve to be in that #1 market cap spot and that their price of the shares deserve to be as high as it is right now. I'm going to show you what's going on with the Apple stock because we're pushing against all-time highs. If artificial intelligence, their version of their Apple Intelligence, their version of artificial intelligence, if it's no good and if people start complaining, then the stock is absolutely going to fall hard. It's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. And I'm going to show you where it's going to go because we can make a ton of money riding puts down or riding the breakout up. At the moment, the market is favorably disposed towards Apple, but we need to look at the chart. I'm going to show you guys that. Let's get into that and we'll go from there. Okay, real quick, this is the SPY. Got a little bit of a doji. If we see this followed up with a big red candle, well, then that will be a bearish shooting star that we need to be cautious of. But at the moment, we just have week after week of the market moving higher. We could get a red candle because it's been a number of months since we had one. But let's get into the Apple chart. Okay, here's the Apple chart. I want to keep my analysis extremely simple. Guys, let me clean this up a little bit. So far, we've made a series of higher lows. That's the most positive thing that the Apple chart has going for it right now. You can see that this 198 used to be resistance, right? But eventually it broke through 198, it back tested 198, and it's showing it as support. Now we've got the story that 230 is repeatedly been hit over and over again and has showed up as resistance. We need to open and close a weekly candle above 230. If we do, then the initial target will be a move to 247 and even as high as 260. But if we get rejected here, this is what I want to show you guys. This has largely been moving sideways, and it could continue to move sideways and be range bound until we get a more bullish moment for it to go higher. If we get a weekly candle to open and close beneath 216, you got to watch out because we will come back and test this ascending line of support, and we are likely going to find price testing it around this 198 level. So right now we are trading between 198 and largely 260, and the price that we are hitting up against is 230, and the trend is clearly in a bullish trend. We've yet to have a candle break either way, a break above 230 or break beneath 216, but I promise you that's going to be your trigger. So we're going to be bearish beneath 216 and we're going to be bullish when we open and close a candle above 230. Let's quickly look at the TSM chart. We're looking at weekly candles. Taiwan Semiconductor, like the SPY, has a bullish ascending triangle pattern. These are always bullish. And if it gets confirmed, if we can get a weekly candle to open and close above 192.20, then we absolutely will come up and hit this target of 274. The initial push off of earnings will be a move to 207. Right now, I'm going to give this the default towards a bullish move, and the bearish scenario would be any candle that were open and close beneath this ascending line. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for us today. I wanted you guys to see that Apple chart. I wanted you to understand that even though the markets could pull back a little bit in October, the trend is still bullish, and we want to trade that trend until the charts break down. None of the charts I showed you were breaking down. The charts I showed you today, TSM is in a bullish ascending triangle, which is always bullish, and of course Apple hitting all-time highs. If we get above 230, watch out, it's really going to take off. But if we get beneath 216, then we've got to go back and test 200 in the market. And then Apple's going to move sideways the rest of the year. Guys, I'm going to live trade again on Friday, where we're looking to make more money. I'm looking to teach everybody the trade setups that I use to get good and proper confirmations like we did today, to go long on the SPY and make a little bit of money. We'll do it again this coming Friday. I'll leave a link in the top pinned comment for the Stocks with Josh Discord. Don't trade alone. Learn the charts. Trade with me and the Crown Traders. We'll see you over there. Peace and blessings. Take care.